Hey, Star Wars fans and Rule the Galaxy fans. Welcome to another episode of Rule the Galaxy here. Joe is currently at a Foo Fighters concert. I don't know what stadium. Brent, what stadium is that at?
I have no idea.
I Cincinnati.
I heard Screamo and I turned it off. Like he sent a video of them screaming, so I didn't realize that was Foo Fighters.
Yes.
I didn't know that they had Screamo in it.
Yeah. So I'm in the driver's seat for Joe tonight. I'm a little creeped out because last night a bat somehow got into my house and it was in this basement and it scared the crap out of me. Slightly terrifying. And it's one of those things where you just still feel gross about it after it's done. But we're ready to roll on another episode of Rule the Galaxy podcast. And this is a special one this week. We have a really good guest that we're going to be getting to shortly. But first, I'm going to wrap it around the horn. Brent, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm tired. It's been hitting me for the last couple days, but other than that, I'm doing fine. Staying up till 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning because I can. That stops next week since school starts back in order. So other than that, I'm all good.
Nice. I'm a little tired today too because the bat situation happened around 1 a.m. in the morning. So yeah, fun stuff. Alfie, how are you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. Moving on from last week. Feeling pretty good about that. And just excited to talk a little ICCC tonight.
Absolutely.
Is Basil going to come and cut our wires again? Is that...
Well, you heard what Alfie said. We're going to be talking a little ICCC, and we have the man himself, Michael Havens, here on with us tonight. Michael, how are you doing?
Hey, everybody. I'm doing great. Thanks a lot for having me. I appreciate it. All I can think of when you're telling your bat story is, you remember the Great Outdoors when the bat gets in?
Yeah. Now, see, here's the funny thing. I never saw Great Outdoors. This is the second bat I've gotten in this house in the last 2 years. So there's a problem somewhere. I mean, two. Alfie, you're muted again.
When we get done with this, just go on YouTube and watch that scene. It's classic.
Here's the thing. My buddy at work, the first time it happened, I described the event to him, and he went on his phone, brought up YouTube, and showed me the Great Outdoors. Exact scenario. And that's exactly what it was again last night. So, it's a little hectic because those things, when they get in your house, are fast as hell. You cannot see them. They're just buzzing around, and next thing you know, you don't see it in the room anymore, and then it comes back in. So it's crazy. But
he went that way. I went one way. He's like, "Where'd who go?"
Absolutely, and yeah, I will say my wife is a little more brave than me with the bat too. I have no problem admitting that. So. But Michael, how's it going? We're super excited for another year of the ICCC. I think this is the third year we've had I think it's three that we've had you on our podcast to talk about the hype on this show. I mean, we've all experienced it ourselves. So yeah, how's everything going?
It's going great, man. The guest stars this year are awesome. They're already awesome, and I still have a bunch left to go. The activities are going to be super fun. We're going back to the Sheridan, which I got a lot of feedback. Everybody seems to really, really love the most. So yeah, it's going to be great, man. I'm excited. I mean, vendor tables are all sold out. The hotel sold out in like 48 hours. Usually it's like 3 weeks before, and I'm like, hey, please get your hotel room because I got to buy that hotel in advance, So I'm like praying people come till the end. But it was really nice to get that out of the way in 2 days this year. It's left a lot more time open for a lot more interesting things, a lot more building of the programs or activities or stuff like that we have going on. And we even have some nighttime things going on now too. So yeah, it's great, man. It's the support, the early support really helps us build a better show every year, So I'm excited, man, for sure.
So you went back to the hotel, to the Sheridan, and then you also added a day.
Yes.
Yeah. So
that way we get enough humans and people can do everything quick enough, and it gets busy, man. The word is out. People heard about it now. Back in the day when it was like me and 150 people in a like rodeo arena, it was, a lot easier. Now I got to worry more about humans in the building.
let's be honest, they've heard about it because of the way that you, one, promote it, and two, who you get to come see. So let's hit the highlights of what you've already announced. Like, who are the ones that we know confirmed? We got the guy who plays, and I'm going to call him Zero, and I don't know his name off the top of my head. He's like the backup C-3PO.
Chris Bartlett. He does pretty much all the droids nowadays. So if it's been in Solo or Mando or whatever, and it's a droid, it's going to be Chris Bartlett. Sweetheart of a guy, man, super duper nice. I'm trying to open up the website here so I can tell you all the guest stars.
The lady who played Aura Singh.
Yep, she's coming. Michonne. Oh gosh, her last name is so hard for me to tell you off the top of my head. I have to read it. But she's coming. She played Aura Singh. We have also Dennis Lawson is coming. So Wedge Antilles. There you go. That's easy.
There's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, you just go ahead and scroll down. That makes my life easy there.
No one needs to see that other guy. That guy right there.
Billy D. Williams, man. I thought it was exciting. Also, the buzz around the water cooler is it might be his last year doing conventions. So I figured why not squeeze him in October. So everybody gets a chance to hang out with the proprietor of Cloud City one more time, you know?
I mean, that's probably one of the chill ones. I feel like there's a theme. Like, so last year there was a theme that you put together, and I don't know about this. So is this something that you've just started building, or is this something like the theming concept, or is
you can kind of see the theme. It's a lot of what I'm going for this year is OT people mostly, original trilogy people, just because a lot of them are getting older and stopping doing shows, so I don't want to lose out on them by not doing it now. And also, I'm going. I got a bunch of X-wing pilots. A lot of pilots this year. I'm big on the pilots this year. But no, it's what we're going for this year is mostly the OT. Because last year I did all the Rebels, and then the year before I did all the Clone Wars, and I've never really done like all OT people. So even though we're looking at Brendan Wayne right now, and we just talked about Michonne, but most of them are going to be OGs, and. It's really crazy, man. I'm really lucky with the people I just connect with. Guy Gilchrist is wonderful. All of the Muppet Babies were him. He was Jim Henson's cartoonist. He did Ninja Turtles. He also created Nancy there, Pink Panther, stuff like that. But he's great. He comes every year. And if you're a pop collector, I suggest meeting him because he draws like a drawing on the side of the pop, which is really cool. Timothy Zahn, who kept Star Wars alive between 1986 and 1996, Heir of the Empire, everything like that, gave us Grand Admiral Thrawn. He's awesome, and he's coming. Yeah,
absolutely. And we've got some comments here. Dr. Squatch chiming in. Hello, friends. Dr. Squatch.
Hello, Dr. Squatch.
Hello, Dr. Squatch.
Super excited for the ICCC this year.
Thank you, Scruffy.
So I would have gone a different route because I feel like there's a lot of bounty hunters too. Like, I feel like not only are you like
pure example
zeroing in on original trilogy stuff, but like there's also a bounty hunter theme. Am I kind of like picking up what's going on?
No, you're definitely getting it, man. There is a bounty hunter theme. It's the collector's convention, so we have to have people with vintage toys, and we obviously have to have bounty hunters because we're all bounty hunters, or else we wouldn't make the trip. We all dig through those bins because we're bounty hunters. But yes, that is the theme. It is vintage and bounty hunters. And the one that doesn't really fit the best in that theme is probably going to be the next one. But I ran into her on a trip with I was in California. Let me see. Oh no, that's Garrick Hagen. He's old school. He's awesome. Biggs, Dark Lighter. Chris Bartlett, who played all the droids. I was talking about Amy Allen. Maybe she's farther down, but yeah, there you go. And she doesn't really fit in the bounty hunter or the vintage thing, but cool story. So I'm out at Celebration, the last Celebration, and here, I'm going to sound like a total snob, but I'm hanging out with the Emperor behind the curtain, and he's like, do you want to go to Galaxy's Edge tonight? And I'm like, because I'm still a nerd, so that's like, I was just geeking out, And I'm like, yes, please. And so anyway, we were there. It was me and Ian McDermott and my wife and Ian's agent, Stuart, who's an awesome guy, one of the sweetest guys in the history of the world. And then Amy Allen was there with her kids. And we got to talking, and Ian was like, you really need to go to his show in Tennessee. And she's like, I'd love to go. So she just tossed me her phone number. And I'm telling you, man, I just crab leprechauns left and right. That's where I find my guest stars. I'll be honest. I like to talk to people, and for some reason, they like to talk to me. And I guess when you're walking around with the Emperor in Galaxy's Edge and he gives you a personal recommendation, they want to go. So
I love it. I love it. And then there's also someone else on this list who's a frequent guest on our podcast. I saw him actually on the homepage when I
think he was the most recent announcement of.
yeah, I may not have updated the page you're looking at yet. If you go to news.
Yes, it was right here on this opening page.
Yeah, that's updated new. But when you go to news, he's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you got Mark Thompson, huh?
Yep. That actually happened in a funny way. I've been talking to Mark Thompson for years because I'm cool with Timothy Zahn. And Mark Thompson reads all the books. So all those cool Pokemon characters and stuff in that picture, I have no idea who they are. I just know he voices them. Total Star Wars nerd, you know. I'm in it for the blue guy in the corner. But I've been talking to him 3-4 years now. And every year I ask him, hey, Mark, are you available these days? And he's like, no, man, I can't. It's a total bummer. And just every single year. And then this year I wrote him and he's like, I think I might be. And he was so excited and I was so excited. So I've never actually met him, but I've been talking to him for like 5 years. He is like the nicest dude in the history of the world. And also, spoiler alert, I'm getting him to record the voicemail for ICCC Con in the Grand Admiral Thrawn voice.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
He's
awesome.
like,
So I think that'll be cool.
His first time on, like, he was nice enough to do some bumpers for us because he's really his voice he voice acts, right, and takes on good. So like he did like Jar Jar Binks, he did a C-3PO, he did the Thrawn voice and a couple others that we now interchange every now and then. Hera, Hera did the person who does Hera, and I can't think of her name. You had her last year,
Vanessa Marshall.
Vanessa Marshall. She's so nice.
Yeah, she was amazing. She did some bumpers for us, and we also got Asajj Ventress to do some bumpers. But yeah, Mark Thompson's been on like 3 or 4 times promoting his books. Really solid, good. I'm looking forward to trying to bump elbows with him a little bit.
Yeah, he's such a nice guy, man.
He really is. I mean, there was one time where I hosted an episode with Mark Thompson, and I think it was one of the first times I hosted our show, and this was probably, it's crazy to say, almost 2 years ago. And I was nervous to do it. And, you know, I was listening to his Thrawn audiobook at the time. And at this point, I think we've had Mark Thompson on, Brent, do you know, or Alfie, probably 5 times at least on our show?
Yeah.
He is just, you know, you get all excited about your guests that you're having on and you want to talk about everything, but you always find yourself too just having regular conversation with him about what's going on in Star Wars because he's a big fan himself. So he's really fun to follow on social media and everything. And, you know, he does amazing work with his audiobooks and his voice work. So it's really cool to see that you have him going to the show this year. So we're pretty pumped about that one.
Nice. Yeah, no, I am too. We also got Angus McGinnis was the latest release. If you go to news, just because I haven't updated the guest star page yet. So if you go up to the top to news.
Boom.
And we also did Tom Osborne today. But Tom Osborne is a Kenner designer, marketing manager, and stuff like that. So he did Play-Doh, Star Wars stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Jurassic Park, a whole bunch of different things. And then the Angus McGinnis is gold leader. So, which is cool, you know. And he's also a million other things from a million other movies. But you can see I'm just such a Star Wars nerd, you know what I mean? That I'm like, oh, he's a gold leader, and like the rest of his career I don't care about. Well, actually, Vikings was a cool show. But he was the dude in Vikings too. But we're going to keep them coming out, man. We got a lot more announcements coming out, a lot more competitions, video game competitions. We're going to have a Sabacc tournament on site where they're going to teach you how to play also. Also at night, we're going to have the guys from Boon to Eve, and they're putting on a nighttime show one night. Then we have the Aerial Skywalkers essentially put on a Cirque du Soleil one night. And then we always have the room sales, which I'm sure you guys know all about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Which I'm pretty excited. I'm pretty excited to see it this year. See, I'm lucky because last year I didn't get to go 2 years ago. I went last year, so now I'm going to get the best of both worlds, where I got to be at the fairgrounds. Now I'm going to have the hotel experience this year, which I very much appreciate. You know, we absolutely appreciate being able to go to this thing because it really is awesome. I mean, me from Philly, I'm flying out there to go to this thing. I mean, I did last year. It's really awesome. It was my first time in Nashville too. So if anyone's on the fence, book a flight, fly out to ICCC. It's freaking awesome. It really is.
Thanks so much, man. I appreciate that. Well, the lucky thing is we're in the middle of the United States, so it's actually decently cheap to get flights to here. Plus, it's Nashville, Tennessee, man. You want to go out at night, there's no better place in the world.
Mm-hmm. I learned that the hard way one night while I was there.
It's safe, it's clean, and all they do is pour you a double and call it a single.
Yes, exactly. It had me in bed a little bit late one day, but we pushed through it.
We powered through it.
Another one I wanted to talk about is Brendan Wayne. That's an awesome pull because I mean he's in the Mando costume like from what I understand a lot of the time. He's the guy in the costume.
Pretty much most of the time. Pedro isn't in it much, and actually with his new contract negotiations, I heard that Pedro is only going to be in a voiceover booth from now on. But the reason why I wanted to get him so bad, man, I'll be honest. Once again, you can really see with the guest stars I pick that I'm the one picking them. Because, like, I'm a nerd for certain things, man. And I remember when I first saw, like, the episode, the trailer for the Mando, right? And he's walking, you know, when he kills the squid dude and the doors close and everything. And he's walking, and I'm like, oh, it's so cool. He walks just like John Wayne. And I didn't realize until like a year and a half later that it's John Wayne's great grandkid, you know, or grandkid rather. So it was like, dude, that is spot on. So yeah, that Mando with that John Wayne walk, that is Brendan Wayne, man. And I'm really excited to meet him. And I hear he's the nicest guy in the world. I've only talked to him back and forth on email and stuff. I haven't talked to him in person yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I mean, I've seen stuff from him at other cons where it seems like he's a very personable guy and just enjoys being a part of, you know, the Star Wars galaxy. We got another comment here from Star Wars Sith saying, ICCC ready. Let's go. I'm fired up about it.
Yeah, man. I'm hyped up, dude. I'm hyped up. And also with it being towards the end of the year, we kind of like get to put a period on the con season, which is nice, you know? And we have that to thank the Screen Actors Guild. If it wasn't for the Screen Actors Guild, we'd still be in April.
Was that because of the strike? Is that what pushed it back? I was going to ask, so what did push it back?
Well, with the Screen Actors Guild on strike, see, here's what happens, man, is we're different than most other conventions, whereas we're not corporate. We're just fans. We're just nerds and volunteers, this, that, and the other. So other corporate conventions, they can pay the guarantee and say, okay, I'll still guarantee you the same amount. We'll do our convention when everybody's on strike. And you guys, for the fans, will only sign your headshots because they can't sign any struck products. So, for example, Brendan Wayne wouldn't have been able to sign a picture of the Mandalorian. He could sign a headshot of himself. Now, here's the hook that nobody talks about. If you're a corporate convention, you have a secret back room where you have thousands and thousands of Topps cards and Funko Pops. They walk into that back room, they sign the ever-living heck out of struck product, and that's how the convention can make their guarantees. But since we're not a convention that does that, because it's like, you know what I mean? I don't have a Star Wars autograph selling account on eBay or anything to do that and then drop all those on the back end. So that's how they were able to stay in it. But we can't do that when they're on strike, man. Imagine having like Michael Keaton and he couldn't sign a picture of Batman. It's bonkers. I can't compete with that. I'm just some dude, you know. But if you got 60,000 Funko Pops in the back room, it don't matter because they could just sit there and go, and then you get your guarantee. So, but yeah, that's what pushed us off this past year, but it's happened before, man. Even with COVID, we had to stretch it out a little bit, but we'll always keep coming back whenever they let us. But it is tough being a fan in the corporate world, if you know what I mean. Like they have a whole different set of rules than us.
Absolutely. And I mean, even I can tell even from like the guests that you had last year, and with it being my first experience, I feel like even for them, it feels like a different convention experience, like while it's going on. Like, it feels a bit more connected while you're there and everything. And, it was as advertised for me. I mean, we were sitting in a room with Ian McDiarmid, like literally like 10 feet away from us. And you're just like sitting there like, this is crazy. And yeah, we got to interview guests. It was just awesome.
That's totally what we're going for in a weird way. See, the thing is all the staff and myself and everything, we're vintage toy collectors. That's our thing that we are totally into. So we don't even go up to these people and beg them for autographs or selfies or anything like that. And every convention they go to, it's like that. For example, I say, it's Nashville. It's a very fun city. If you want to go out and you're going to be a little bit late tomorrow, just make sure you let us know so we can let everybody know so they're not just sitting there standing in line for you. But it's okay if you're going to be late. Just let us know. And they're like, what? Because usually they're under contract. It's like, you will eat at this time, you will crap at this time, you will sign at this time, you will do that. And we're not like that, man. We're like, you want to go axe throwing with some fans? Feel free, have a good day, just show up and tell us when you be here so we can make sure you get the panel or the photo ops or the autographs you have to. And they like that a lot. So they end up being super cool. And if you notice, all of a sudden you'll be at the bar or something at the hotel and there's like movie stars there with you just chilling. And it's not like that anywhere else, man. But it's just because even the fans, even the attendees, we don't give them a hassle. We're like, I like Budweiser, and they're like, yeah, I like Bud Light or whatever. It's like real conversations. And I think them being these famous actors, where you can't even go to a restaurant without somebody walking up to you and being like, I loved you and blah, 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 blah. Would you sign my menu? And they're just hanging out having beers with a bunch of cool people like you. And none of you are giving them grief for being like, give me an autograph or could I get a selfie? We're just like, so what was it like being on the set for the Millennium Falcon? Was it like, is there a rear wall or, we're nerds. We want to ask questions and hang out, And I think that's what they gravitate towards. And I also think that's why every single year my job gets a heck of a lot easier with finding movie stars.
Absolutely. Alfie, you got any questions on the board? Brent, you going to ask?
I was just going to say, I think my favorite story, and I tell it to everybody, is the reason why Emperor Palpatine walks down the stairs the way that the Palpatine walk. I mean, if anybody, I'm willing to hear it again because I enjoy that story so much. Doc, have you heard that story?
I think I did, but I'm willing to hear it again.
I mean, I'm gonna set you up for it because you can tell the whole reason how you got it out of him as well. But
yeah, well, I don't even know if it was me getting it. Well, I guess it was a little bit. But we picked up Ian McDiarmid. He tells me you can call me Ian, but still, it's weird for me, man. I mean, I get it, And so we pick up Ian at the airport, and we had this cool Sprinter van, man, with the TVs and the whatnot, And I even took a bunch of stickers and I put Emperor stickers on it. And I had Return of the Jedi playing in the Sprinter van. So I open up the Sprinter van door. He gets in, Stuart gets in, and I get in, and I'm sitting towards them, and the TV's behind me, and he's watching it. And he's like, it's so strange still to see myself on TV. And it was the scene where the Emperor's just getting to the Death Star. Because I even told, I was like the driver, I was like, listen, man, as soon as because I texted him, and I was like, just cue up the movie as soon as, and then it'll be going when we're coming out, And so the Emperor's walking down the Lambda shuttle ramp with Darth Vader and everything. Return of the Jedi, I'd say, I don't know, 40 minutes in, something like that. And he's like, do you know why I'm walking like that? And he's like, and the thing is, I had to walk like that the rest of my career as the Emperor. He's like, do you know why I'm walking like that? I go, okay, why, And he goes, well, the thing is back in the day, they didn't have good contact lenses that changed your eyes. So it was essentially an entire piece of glass with a little tiny slit in it. And they'd make those yellow eyes out of that, the contact lens, but it's not see-throughable. You just have a little slit. So he said the only way that he could see would keep his head very, very straight. So he couldn't see the ramp at all. He couldn't even see Darth Vader's head because of the slits on the contact lenses. So he's just feeling where to put his foot each time. So he's just guessing that there'll be a ramp. Essentially Indiana Jones when he has to take the leap of faith and Last Crusade, and so that is the reason why the Emperor has walked the way the Emperor has walked for 6 movies, which is really cool, man.
That's a great story.
I love it. And also, one thing I don't want to glaze over, which you've mentioned before, is vintage toy collecting and everything. Like, there was one, I collect some Star Wars Black Series. Like, I'm kind of all over the place with Star Wars. Big Lego Star Wars collection, Star Wars Black Series, all that stuff. I wanted a Qui-Gon Jinn Star Wars Black Series figure, and it was easy to find at the ICCC. So if anyone is into toy collecting, whatever you're looking for is most likely going to be there. Do you want to touch on some of that stuff, Michael, with the toys there?
Yeah, sure. I'm an obnoxious promoter, and I charge less for my tables so I can get an influx of extra vendors and tell a whole bunch of them they can't come. I know that sounds awful, but it's the reason why you don't see T-Mobile booths like that pink trailer. You don't see people with a bunch of where they take all the Chinese knockoffs that they get a container load of, and it's 8 million Pokemon on a table, and they're all $2 each. You don't see any of that. And the reason why is because you have to apply when you purchase your table for approval. So before you're approved, you don't have a table at ICCC. And I'm more than happy to refund the money. We don't allow anything pervy. We don't allow any repro, or the best we can. I mean, every once in a while, somebody might not see something, but we even send around teams to look and check. We don't allow anything R-rated, and we also don't allow anything that's going to, all right, this is a term that we use internally that, anything that's going to ruin the magic. We never want to ruin the magic for the fans of the attendees. And I'm sorry if you are walking around searching for old toys and all you see is Pop Booth, and nothing against Pops. There needs to be Pops. There will be Pops. But if you see Pop Booth, Pop Booth, Pop Booth, Pop Booth, Bean Juice, and T-Mobile Booth, and rain gutter covers, it stinks, man, because you're walking around there being well, I got to think about my cell phone service, or I got to think about my insurance, Geico booth, or Singapore Airlines booth, and I'm not trying to burn every sponsor in the world or anything, because yes, we could use sponsors, always, but it's if it's going to ruin the magic, man, I won't let it in there. And I'm sorry if you're hunting for old toys or new toys or that Qui-Gon Jinn Black Series, dude. You don't want to be walking and then just see what kind of cell phone plan do you have? You want to buy a T-Mobile phone? And it's dude, what? It just ruins it. You know what I mean? It's you're supposed to be in a magical place in a galaxy far, far away when you attend this thing for 4 days. And I don't want anything to spoil that. So.
Yeah, I recently went to a convention where it seemed like there was a ton of the same booths with the same cosplay weapons.
Yeah.
It's just the same thing over and over again, which, I mean, the first few times it's cool, but by the 20th booth, you're can't you guys get something else besides just this?
Well, the thing is most conventions, and I'm not trying to pick, it's just it's a better way of doing business. So they are better at business than me, guarantee it. But the smart thing to do, man, is to take as many vendor booths at as high of a price as you can get. But I won't do that. Even for example, we got 2 lightsaber dealers this year, and that's not very many, but I didn't take the 3rd or the 4th or the 5th. You know what I mean? If you want a lightsaber, there's 2 choices. They can control the market so they can fight on prices and give you guys good deals, and you could go back and forth, but you don't need 10 of them. And that's the thing with Pops. Yeah, you get a couple Pops booths, 2, 3 Pops booths, but you know how it is at a lot of conventions. You're walking Pops booth and Pops booth, and they are carbon copy duplicates. Now, the reason why, and this is just a weird business thing, is in order to pay for the $2,500 booths that a lot of cons charge, you have to sell 200, 300, 400 Pops. You know what I mean? In order to, that's why you'll see a lot more vintage or a lot more rare things or difficult things that might not sell that weekend, but it'll be on the table. And the reason why is because if that person doesn't sell their $10,000, $30,000, $80,000 piece, they could still sell a few $100 pieces and they'll be fine. It doesn't work like that at other conventions. If you're trying to make up a $2,400 nut before you even break even, it's, you've got to sell 2,000 Pops at $5 margin each. It's just, you got to sell something that moves. Bean juice, ginseng gum. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is
It
one
was
thing.
crazy. I was across from a booth once, and they had bean juice, ginseng gum, and like these tiger backpacks. And I'm like, what the heck am I doing? I'm sitting there with Yak Faces, Power to Force Yak Faces mint on card, like nice stuff. And I'm like, what am I doing? And I'm telling you, I watched that ginseng gum booth, man, and every single person was buying ginseng gum and bean juice. So they knew what they were doing, but it was like such a bummer. It was like I was across from like a Korean Quickie Mart. Is exactly what it looked like. If you ever walked into a Korean Quickie Mart, and they always have like all the different kinds of soda that you never seen before, and all the kinds of gum that are in like white wrappers with like leaves on it, and you're like, what is that? You know, but I don't know. So yes, we are all about not ruining the magic, but that's why you see the kind of booths that you see.
Absolutely. And to top it off too, on that Qui-Gon Black Series figure story, Alfie, you probably remember this. We saw the guy the one day and I couldn't find it. And I said, I was kind of looking for this Qui-Gon Black Series where it had, you know, the Phantom Menace card on it. You know, they recently came out with it. And he's like, hey, you swing by my booth tomorrow. He's like, I have it out in my truck. I'll have it out for you on the peg. Next day we swing by there. Guy had it right out there for me. It was like he remembered it. It was, you know, it was just like good quality stuff there. And I mean, I also can't pass up too the art that it sells at your shows too, because that's what Joe loves is buying the art there. I mean, do you have a I mean, I'm sure you'll be announcing artists for badges and everything later on, but
that first one when you were scrolling on the page, Jeremiah, that's our badge artist this year.
Okay, so you have a badge artist. Cool.
Yep.
All right, and your badge artist last year was really cool too. I have my badge.
She was great, Leah Elaine.
Yeah. Didn't she sign her badges?
Yeah, we always have the badge designer on site to sign your badges for free if you want.
I was going to say, I thought we met her out on the floor and she signed them. Very nice.
She's a sweetheart.
I'm probably gonna. I was nervous I was gonna knock something down, but I have my badge sitting.
Yeah, there you go.
The shelf behind me. She was really cool, and she's a very young, talented artist. So it was really cool to meet her, and also it feels pretty badass walking around with this thing on.
Right?
So
people talk to you, they look down at the badge and they go, "Oh, you're allowed to talk to me. It's okay."
So if I remember correctly, I know this is the collectors convention, and I know that you have this really strange collection that you're looking for. That have you completed your collection? I'm referring to, I believe it's Brazilian yogurt toppers.
My Argentinian Doriana margarine container tops.
There you go.
No, man. I only have two in the advertisement. I only have two in the advertisement. Yeah, there. Believe it or not, there is, man. Here's the thing, right? I have two, and I have the advertising paperwork. The biggest problem when you're a vintage collector and you come across advertising paperwork, it's horrible because it says collect all 14, and you're like, I've only seen 4. You know what I mean? And you're like, what am I supposed to do? What's 14? Can't you give me a list? So I'm out there, I'm hunting them, man. Somebody did write me like, 3-4 months ago, and a C-3PO one came up, and it has the entire container. But the thing is, the dude wants $5,000 for it, and I think it's way too much because it's literally garbage. I mean, I have paid $400 for one of them, just the top. I paid $500 for one of them, just the top. And granted, this one comes with the tub, and it is complete, and it is very, very nice. But $5,000 for a used butter container from Argentina, I might have to check myself into a mental hospital.
There's obviously a market for it.
I know, man. How do you even come up with a price for that? But I've been watching it, and he hasn't sold it yet. So I'm waiting until he comes down. He comes down around $1,000, man. I'll bite that bullet.
I was just so out of the 14, you've been able to locate and
I have two.
Two? Okay.
R2D2 and Wicket.
Okay.
Those are the only two I have so far.
I wouldn't be mad at having those two.
No, they're good ones, man. I mean, I could have ended up with a Lobot or something. I know there's a Luke. I know there's a C-3PO. But those are the only ones confirmed. I would expect there to be a Yoda or something else like that. Main characters, Darth Vader. But the only ones I see on the actual advertisement are those. So,
now,
but it says collect all 14 or all 12, or I think it's 14.
That's funny. Now, I'm going to be a little selfish here in the question.
Go ahead.
The podcast room. So last time we were at the Sheridan, it was a little tight when you had good guests in and all that stuff. Is the podcast room going to be in a different location?
The podcast room has been requested to be in the same location. We don't want 20, 30, 40 people. What we've done, and actually talked to Jim about this because he's the one that runs the podcast room. But what we've done is when you guys give away that ticket or whatever, if it's a major guest star that's coming in, it makes it really, really, really sought after. And like those guest stars also go into the main big room, which has expanded for the actual panels on site. So we don't want the podcast, because you get 40, 50, 60 people in a podcast room, then all you're going to get is background noise and it's going to sound like crap. You guys are recording a podcast. They're supposed to shut up. And with 10 to 15 people, you can make sure they are.
Gotcha.
True.
All right. Is the tattoo artist going to be there?
Yes, and they're actually expanding as well. They're bringing in some, because see, here's the thing. You know what? I even talk about it nowadays because you know what? I am in a separate boat than the mouse, so I don't care. Celebration decided to go to Japan. And it's like, we can't have any tattoos on site. So, dude, I am like, all right, we have our Golden Yeti guys who come, and they're phenomenal. But now they're going to run a 2-day tattoo contest. So it's over 2 days. Whoever gets the best, biggest, craziest, cleanest artwork. And they're actually flying in and driving in Lucasfilm approved tattoo artists for this competition because they can't go to Celebration. So what's going on right now, and this is what's so awesome this year, guys, is since Celebration has been like, we're going to go to Anaheim, California. We're going to go here. We're going to take 5 years off for COVID. We're going to go to Japan. What's happened is everybody who's like, all right, either I don't have a passport, I don't want to spend 30 grand to get to Japan, or they're not allowing tattoos or whatever, has been calling me up and they're like, hey, what are you doing? I heard you throw a Star Wars convention that's like Celebration. I go, the only way it's like Celebration is we have Star Wars stuff too, man. That's, but it is, it's funny too, because I get a lot of, because now we've started to get a lot of podcasts, and even like the Boonta Eve guys, the poor Boonta Eve guys, they're so nice, right? And they throw this like after hours party with some guest stars and stuff, and they do karaoke and whatnot at like Celebration. They've been doing it for years. They asked me, they were like, well, do you need a cut for this? What do you need for this? How much is the room rental? What's this? What is the cost of this? What do I need to do for this? Are we allowed to use the logo for this? I go, guys, I'm just some crazy dude that likes Star Wars, and there's no Star Wars convention here. Go ahead. As long as there's no porn, no drugs, nothing bad, go nuts. I think that's the same reason why the guest stars are comfortable, man. We're not like that. You know what I mean? I just want to have a good time, and I want people to have a good time. And I think that takes the pressure off everybody. So it's really, man, a lot of people that are usually those Celebration faithful and the ones that are like, you only see at Celebration, are coming to this now because it's the only thing around, man. Celebration is really, really far away. And then it's 2 years after that for the next one with God knows where they'll put it. Maybe Orlando.
Yeah. I mean, trust me, the day after VIP day, I remember Joe told me, because we were staying in separate hotels, Joe told me, be there early, D-Doc. He's like, there's going to be a line out the door. And I was just like, all right. He's like, people show up for this thing. And I got there and I was like, man, this is next level. It was awesome. So
no,
it's really cool.
No, I appreciate that, man. Well, we're just trying to make, what is it? The world's best 4-day sleepover. That's all we're going for. So as long as if you like old stuff and Star Wars toys and vintage whatever, and shooting the breeze with other nerds just like you, this is the place to be. And that word is so far out, man. I mean, everybody knows. Well, not everybody, but it would be nice if everybody knows. So tell your friends.
Yeah, I think I'll never forget, because I wasn't able to go last year, but I went the first, so 2 years ago. One of our co-hosts, who now has 3 children since we've been doing this, hasn't been around, Nick Shesky. We parked in the parking lot, walked out, and there was a guy in a Jedi robe and a toy lightsaber, and said, "Is this where the convention is at?" And Nick looked at us and said, I've never felt like I've been with my people more in my life, and we
That's
were
it.
there for a total of about 15 seconds. Alfie, am I exaggerating? Was that?
That was pretty much it to a T right there.
Yeah.
I've never felt so seen and been about my people in my life.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. And I mean, it's like to be in that room. I mean, I've gotten to know Headless Ned Stark just from knowing you guys, meeting them at the convention the year before and talking to him and Hyperspace Heroes and everything and being in that podcast room. It was the first time I was meeting a lot of those guys and even a lot of people who were at the convention. You really do just feel like you're with your people. You could talk to anybody and it's just a fun time. It really is. And we have comments from Star Wars Sith. ICCC is literally Celebration, but affordable and less crowded. And DJ Daimyo said, and more fun. He added in on that.
It is a lot of fun.
All right.
That's great to hear.
So the next question I'm going to ask is, I mean, we've talked a lot about it. You've done some promotion. Is there a potential guest star that you haven't talked about that you are willing to give us an exclusive on by any chance?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll do an exclusive release of a guest star here. I love you guys. You guys have been great support in the con for years, man. Believe me, I'm a firm believer in that. You remember that story a million years ago, a little storybook about how there's this chicken. I'm going to tell you a little story. It's got nothing to do with Star Wars, but it's a good story and a good learning thing. All right, so there's this chicken, right? And what she's going to do is she's going to make some bread. So she plants the field and she tills the field and she asks for help from the cat and the turtle and the bunny. And they're like, no, we're busy. So she chops down all the wheat and she starts crushing the wheat. Will you help me? No, we're busy. And then what happens is she's baking the bread. And will you help me bake the bread? Need the dough? No, we're busy. And then she makes the bread and it's sitting on the windowsill. And they all show up for a slice of bread. And she goes, no, you were too busy at the time. I can't help you. I want you guys to know, when there's 100,000 people walking through this door, you're still going to have your press badge because you were there when we started. And I appreciate the heck out of it. And all the other podcasts and attendees and collectors and vendors, I remember it forever because I appreciate the heck out of it. And yeah, of course I have a guest star for you guys. I have whatever you want.
So, is it in the Bounty Hunter original trilogy? Is there a...
No, it's not, man. It is definitely geared towards us old school folk. But he is from. You want me to do it?
Yeah, let's go. I mean,
yeah, and I will. And I can share.
Yeah, he is from Rogue One, which we all seem to love very, very much. But he is Two Tubes in Rogue One. He's also been in numerous other things. Doctor Who. He's been even Blue, the Velociraptor. He's the puppeteer for Blue from Jurassic Park. But his name is Aiden Cook, and you'll know him from Two Tubes, from Solo, and also Rogue One.
Love it. And he's also the guy with all the hands who does all the repairs in what was that, Book of Boba Fett?
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett. Yep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
looks
He's
like
he's also Admiral Akbar in something.
Looks like he was in the Rise of Skywalker.
Yeah, he was. I think he played Mon Calamarian or Akbar. What's that?
So this is Star Wars Unlimited. It's like basically Magic the Gathering, but with Star Wars characters.
Yeah.
So you're telling me this guy right here, Benthic Two Tubes?
Yes,
yeah,
it is.
Two Tubes.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
if you
that's
play
him.
Unlimited, you might be able to get your card signed.
There you go.
I love it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Star Wars Unlimited. If you'd like to open up a back room and sign a bunch of cards and give me a cut, that'd be great.
Yeah, man.
I love it.
That's
I'm
great.
fired up.
Racket.
I'm fired up that
That's
we
the
got
current
it.
racket.
We got an announcement for ICCC on Rule.
That's exclusive. I won't tell anybody about that publicly until tomorrow.
Okay.
But yeah, so you guys get the exclusive. So put out the link there and be like, if you want to know the next guest star, you won't find out till tomorrow night, or you got to listen to it here.
Gotcha. So yeah, Star Wars Sith and DJ Daimyo, Hyperspace Heroes. Y'all got to hear it too if you're in here hanging with us. Thank you, Dr. Squatch. I hope you're still hanging around as well.
I want to meet Dr. Squatch. Dr. Squatch, you need to get to the ICCC because Dr. Squatch has been a loyal follower.
Loyal. That dude's a ride or die for us.
I know.
Nice.
I love it. I love it.
He helped you grow the bread.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we really appreciate that too. I mean, I pinch myself that we're lucky enough to go to this thing. And I mean, Joe and these guys started this podcast. I was lucky enough to jump on with them, I guess, a year or so after they started, and been here for a couple years. And I mean, I don't know. It's just great stuff.
Yeah.
So
we got to meet in person last year.
I know. And I feel like, and we text and talk to each other all the time. That's why it was like, I'm like, hey guys, what's up? I mean, this is my first time physically seeing you, but we've been BSing with each other for a couple years now. You know, that's with Brent. I've never seen Brent in person before.
Never physically seen each other.
I mean, we're to the point where Joe came and did a pit stop at my house and slept over here when he was doing he's doing a little East Coast tour. So, you know, that's the stuff that you find with this community and going to conventions like this and stuff is just, you know, you make friends where you just could never expect it to happen. So it's pretty awesome.
The best way to make new lifelong friends after the age of 35. That's what it is.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
I mean, and just like Nick said, like you walk in and you feel like you have a shared love and a passion for something, and that automatically makes you have a connection with that person. And you find out that there is connections all over.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Michael, we're going to let you go shortly here. I'm just going to ask Brent and Alfie if they have any last questions for you before you head out here. And if you have anything else to say, I mean, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you, giving that announcement on here. And, we appreciate you inviting us back to the ICCC for our third time there. We're excited.
Yeah, I love having you, man. Love the coverage. Appreciate the coverage. And thanks for telling your friends. Keep telling them. That's the way it works. And, but no, man, I'm really excited. We still got a bunch of guest stars that'll be coming out. More toy designers, also more movie stars. We also even have another headliner in the mix. So stay tuned.
Gotcha. Awesome. Good stuff. How are tickets? Are tickets getting limited? I mean, do we got to rush to get the tickets?
No, tickets are great, man, because we spread it out to the fourth day, so it's a little bit different than it was as far as the heaviness. Saturday will sell out first, but also, you remember how there were all the tables in the hallway last time? We completely got rid of those and redid it, so there won't be hallway clogs and stuff like that. We can move a lot more people than we used to, so we should be gravy. As far as tickets, no, man, I would love for them to always sell out, but I don't know if it's really, we sell out on Saturdays. If you're hemming and hawing about your Saturday ticket or you want a full weekend, I would definitely suggest to get that before you show up at the door. Because I do know that 2 years ago, we did have to turn away people on Saturday. Last year, we didn't have to turn away anybody, but I had like 275 acres. You needed like a bus and 3 trams to get to the helicopter. Yeah. But it was cool, and we had a helicopter and a demolition derby. It was bonkers. It's not very conducive to conning, or con walking or.
Absolutely, it was cool.
Now, with the extra day this year, which day will be the VIP? Will it be Thursday or Friday?
VIP is Thursday. VIP is Thursday. The only way to get into Thursday, if you're not a VIP, is with a full weekend pass with the additional early bird purchase. The early bird purchase doesn't get you in VIP room. Essentially, it's 1 hour later access than the VIP, but the same access as the VIP without any of the perks. So you don't get like bags or food or ice cream or pie or sodas or all the special swag, but you can go hunt early, a day early.
Absolutely.
Food trucks in the parking lot?
Yes, food trucks in the parking lot. That was a really, really tough one to get pushed through. I am going to have food trucks. The way we got it pushed through is just because I was like, listen, you know that we are the kind of people that come and we eat your food and drink your drinks. I go, if you don't want to have some like off-site eat your food and drink your drink places, it's going to be tough to just even handle people because you're going to get an order for 3,000 chicken sandwiches at noon. You know what I mean? Like, what are you going to do? Like, give them a place outside to go. But yes, we're going to have food trucks. Also outside, we're going to have a whole laser tag thing you can do. So if you're like an athletic person, unlike me, you can go play laser tag. And also there'll be star cars out there under tents and stuff. Be a lot of good places to hang out by the food trucks. We're going to put them in back by the tennis courts there. So we're going to
Okay.
tent the tennis courts, and then it'll be that way. It'll give, if you want to go to the restaurant, fine. If you want to go to the outside area by the pool and have your lunch, fine. But if you want to go to the food trucks, they're there as well. Plus, I'm really looking to try to find a coffee food truck because it would be nice to have a dedicated coffee spot. Besides like your room or like the Starbucks, which is like a Starbucks kiosk, which is like 400,000 people in line every day.
Right.
That's good to hear. That was one thing I'm not trying to be critical, but as a person who suffers from anxiety, this location was hard for me the first time we went there, being so crowded and not having the ability to go outside as much. I liked it last year, being able to walk around. I understand why you switch back, and I think it's a good idea. But I really like hearing that there'll be stuff outside.
Yep, it'll be spread to the outside as well. So yeah, there'll be plenty of places to even hang out, read a book if you want. You know, if you bring your own ham sandwich, you can go set up a picnic blanket in the yard. I don't mind.
There you go. Well, will there be adult beverages at any of these food trucks by any chance?
The bar will have adult beverages. I think there's a rule with adult beverages at food trucks in Tennessee.
That's true. I have no clue. I mean, I'm out here in PA, so I don't even know how that works.
Like even for like that beer cart, because they have like a thing where you like ride a bunch of beer kegs and everybody pedals or whatever downtown.
Yeah.
But I think even for that, you have to get your beer before you get on it. It's like some kind of weird law. I don't know.
Yeah, everyone's always bypassing everything. Well, speaking of food trucks, I know you said you got to run tonight, and we're really happy to have you. We kept you on a little bit longer than expected. So
no worries, man. Hey, I love talking Star Wars and I love hanging out with you guys. So it's an absolute pleasure.
Absolutely. Well, Michael Havens, we appreciate you. We'll see you at the ICCC. I know you're a busy man, and we appreciate you jumping on with us here.
Thank you so much for giving me the time, and thanks so much for the support over the years, guys. I'll see you in October.
Absolutely.
We'll see you there.
See you then.
All right. Good night. Thank you.
Thanks for coming on. All right, boys. I'm going to book my flight tonight. What do you think?
Go for it. I mean, Hyperspace Heroes looks like they have take a break in the room. I thought they were offering us to come crash out in the bathtub or on the floor.
All right, Hyperspace Heroes, do you mind if I place a cooler of beers inside of your room there? I'm just kidding.
There was the first year we went, I saw so many vendors with coolers. I saw a dude carry in an entire case of, the shooters, like the dollar shots of liquor. Yeah, he just walked right in carrying it.
Are you driving, Alfie, there, obviously?
I will be driving.
You're our cooler man. There you go. We'll put a Rule of the Galaxy sticker on it.
Yeah.
The official Rule of the Galaxy cooler.
Part of the fall collection.
Did I ever tell you guys that I got flagged by TSA because I had the stack of Rule of the Galaxy stickers in my
yes.
Hyperspace Heroes. Coolers are welcome, bathtubs are open. All right, we just need to grab a bunch of bags of ice then. Fill up the bathtubs, baby.
We're going back to what I was like when I was like 18, trying to 19, parents are away, fill up the bathtub, drop a couple 30 packs in the bathtub.
Yeah. Back before Yeti cups or Stanley's or whatever, it was always a large McDonald's cup, a 12-ounce can of beer fit perfectly in there, and you could put the straw right in.
There you go.
Oh, from a straw?
Nobody knows.
I don't like Alfie.
Hey,
I don't know if I can do beer from a straw.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
I love it. Well, that was awesome to have Michael on. It just got me fired up for ICCC because it's really not that far away. I mean, we're getting into August here. Summer's essentially over, so.
That's Scruffy snores. You've been warned. Thanks, Hyperspace Heroes. Yeah, just let me know what's going on. If you book a room, let me know. We'll try to finagle something.
I'll be able to make decisions, so you just have to tell me where. That's all you have to do.
So that's kind of where.
As long as it's not a clown motel or something, we'll be fine.
J Doc chiming in. I'd rather get arrested than drink a beer from a straw.
I agree with.
Will
Hey,
J-Doc be there
hey.
for ICCC? I got to talk to him about
I
that.
mean, come on, Doobie Dave, come on.
I don't want to fly alone, actually. So maybe
All
I
right,
don't know.
has there been any news like since we got about another like 15-ish minutes or so? Has there been any news?
Big
Anything
news.
important?
I was gonna say no, but what is the big news, Alfie?
Mando's already started filming.
Yeah, so the picture with Pascal and Brendan Wayne and then a couple others, I just glanced at it, right?
That was totally not the picture.
That was
What was it?
Fantastic Four.
That was the Fantastic Four.
Is Pascal in it?
Yep, he's
Yes.
Mr. Fantastic.
Okay.
Which makes sense why Mando would have to film for a few days before they started principal photography, because he's
Gotcha.
bound.
Well,
Yeah, that picture. I didn't read any of it. I just looked at the picture. It looked like Brendan Wayne, but it's the Fantastic Four.
it's actually the
Fantastic
guy
Four.
from Stranger, or no, not the guy who kind of looks like Brendan Wayne. I know him from a bunch of stuff, but he's playing the Thing, right?
Yeah.
What's his name? What are you laughing at? What did I do?
Nothing. Just the fact that I laid the text out in progression of here's the Mando story, here's the Fantastic Four story. Do we think these correlate together? I just glanced at this picture.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use Reddit. I got to admit, I really don't.
Here's the thing. Anytime you send me a Reddit post, because I do have Reddit stuff, anytime you send me a Reddit post, it sends me to my popular site, and then I have to go find it on Reddit links. So, like, I'm not going to search through to find that story.
Well, you could have said that, and I wouldn't do that anymore.
No. I just that's why I just looked at the picture, and I said this, and it said this makes sense why I thought it was Mando shooting.
I figured that out a while ago that I need to click on the photo, then it takes me to the Reddit page, and then I need to find that blurb and then click on it to read the story. So, Alfie, fill us in on what the hell is going on then. Actually.
Okay, so anyway, yes, Mando is should be getting close to filming. We've seen some set leaks.
I saw that.
Is this Mando 4 or is this the Filoni movie?
This is the movie.
Okay.
And yes, it came out a few days ago that they've filmed some stuff already, and it's, I would say probably some helmetless scenes with Pedro Pascal before he gets busy with the Fantastic Four. However, Tamora Morrison also just had to bow out of a few conventions due to scheduling conflicts. So are we reading too much into the rocks? Probably. But there's always hope that Boba Fett's going to show up too at some point.
Interesting.
I mean, not to say he can't show up a lot in the movie, just that he would have to film a few scenes with Pedro Pascal.
See, like, that makes me nervous where it's like, all right, we got to rush the Pedro scenes where he doesn't have his helmet on, where it's like he hasn't been working on the project for a while and he probably, like, I don't know. But I then again, that's Hollywood.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've heard that some of the best scenes in movies are filmed early on in the project. So
yeah, I think in episode 2, they filmed the end of Revenge of the Sith, in half a day or something while they were filming, the scenes at Owen and Beru's farm.
Interesting. I did not know that fact.
Yeah, they were already there. They just needed Ewan. I think he did a few scenes later with the, how do you say it, the Opie on blue screen. But yeah, they filmed that there while they were filming episode 2.
Interesting. Now, Pedro is also about to be coming out in Gladiator 2. He's a main character in that. He's going to be Mr. Fantastic. He's running The Last of Us. He's doing The Mandalorian. Is Pedro Pascal doing too much stuff right now? That's like I mean, take it while the iron's hot. But right. I mean,
you can't fault the guy for doing it because you want to cash in while you can. But I don't know. I don't know. We have to see how the stuff works out.
This is why I get into like the talking about movies. Like the Gladiator 2 was probably shot during COVID or just out of COVID. Like,
I don't know. That
and
was
it's just
that was announced not that long ago. They really
as far
cooked
as the
on that
movie
one.
coming out, but that doesn't mean production and everything started on it. Movies take like 3 years in that world. It's not a quick process.
Gladiator 2's been in development for like 20 years.
But they didn't
So-
start filming till like
20 was
not
it
that
really?
long ago.
Yeah,
I was
they-
honestly
he's-
surprised the
Was
movie's
it
coming out
2000
when
when it came out?
Yeah. Gladiator?
Oh my, yeah.
Yeah, he's been trying to make a sequel to that for a long
Jeez.
time. He just, one of those projects that he kept pushing back because how do you make that story and make it work?
Right.
How do you fit Maximus into it? And I'm from the trailer, it looks like they finally came up with scratching the idea of Maximus coming back and just having him be, an inspiration to someone else.
Well, Russell Crowe's a husky boy now as well. So
I'm sure you could
Russell's
drop.
ear-
I'm sure you could drop weight if he needed to.
Russell's earned himself a life of relaxation. I mean, that man. What? Oh my God! I can't believe I'm
Master and Commander,
well.
Gladiator.
I don't want to say it, but I never watched Master and Commander before. I still have never seen it.
Yeah.
Everyone always tells me that I need to see Master and Commander. What is? Oh my God! It's my wife's favorite movie. It's probably her number one movie of all time.
Yeah,
The boxing movie.
Give us something to work with here.
So the boxing movie?
Yes, when he's the boxer.
Cinderella Man?
Yes, Cinderella Man. That is my wife's
seriously. You
favorite
kept talking
movie.
about things that we couldn't connect the movie to. Like, yeah, it's your wife's favorite movie. How do we know what that is?
I know. I never got to the point of trying to. I wanted to think about. I wanted to find the name before I had to ask you guys what it was, because that's an easy one to remember, Cinderella Man, and she cries every time she watches it. It is a great movie. So I mean, Gladiator 2 looks good. I mean, it looks like is Pedro going to be the villain in that movie though, kind of, because it looks like he's fighting our main protagonist in this film.
What's a villain anymore?
Hey, we're being positive this week, man. We're cleansed.
We're cleansed.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. We don't need to talk about anything.
I think I want to talk about it.
I don't.
No, I know. I don't want to talk about it. I don't like being negative, and everything's been very positive tonight. We got Michael Avens on tonight, hyped for the ICCC, thinking about good memories from last year at it. Very good Star Wars memories.
What's something you want to look for at ICCC?
What's something I want to look for there?
I want to last year.
I want to complete those Black Series carded figures, which they're probably going to be more expensive this year now. But I already have the Jar Jar that's in the box, but I have that Jar Jar that was on sale. The Black Series Jar Jar.
Mm-hmm.
So
you have
I want to get
on the card.
I just have the regular Black Series packaging of Jar Jar, but it's a reprint of that figure just so I want to complete that Phantom Menace one, which I have Mace Windu, I have Qui-Gon, so I just need to get the Battle Droid and Jar Jar, and I think those were the only 4 that came out for that series.
I think so.
So I definitely want to get those, and like Joe, I might grab some art. I mean, that's what I found myself looking at when I was just recently in Disney. I bought that print, which I actually just recently framed. So I don't know. I might get. I'm definitely gonna. If the Magnet Man is there, I'm definitely gonna be buying more magnets from him.
I get magnets from him every time I see him.
Yeah, he's got to be there too. I mean, I assume he is, because he makes some great stuff, and my kids loved those. Even though the little one did like grab some of them and mess them up, so I need some more magnets. Brent, are you going to be hunting for anything there?
I don't collect stuff there. That's not in the
There
world
might
of
be some
collection
Legion
right now.
stuff there. Are you going to bring the Legion stuff
No,
again?
Might be
Play
some
it?
cards.
So, like, I'm sure there'll probably be a box. I don't know. I have no idea. I mean, there might be people trying to sell the cards, because I don't know if so they have, this game is just kind of, I don't know. There is a collectible aspect to the game. So you rip cards and try to find the collectible ones. So the last set, there was a Boba Fett leader. that was the one to collect, and it was going for $700 on like the secondary market.
Damn, on this new card game already,
Yes,
$700
yeah.
on
I
a
mean,
card.
yeah, and then like there are other ones. Like a friend of mine pulled Cad Bane, so Cad Bane's fancy one. I looked it up, and this was probably mid last week, so Wednesday last week. So, and it was like $395 on the secondary market for that Cad Bane. So
Damn.
those they're really rare to get, and people will pay. I mean, it's only worth what somebody's going to pay for it. So there is a collectible aspect to it that like has me interested, but I'm not going to pay secondary prices for it when I could potentially pull a pack out for $5 and get it in the pack.
Yeah, and that's the
I'm
most fun part about it right there.
And so there's that. As far as like toy collecting, like when he's saying that he's the premier toy collecting convention, that is legit. For those people that haven't gone, if you're looking to go see toys, or if you're looking to go to like a garage sale toy show, this is not a garage sale toy show for you. This is for your collector, like legit collector. I mean, and they'll have some Ghostbusters, they'll have some GI Joe, but I would say from what I remember from 2 years ago, 75% of the booths were Star Wars dominated, and they were vintage Star Wars dominated. So like, there's the Ewok. There's like an Ewok car carrier that was $400 that a guy was like looking through and looking at all the pieces and making sure everything was new in box. When he says Yak Face, which I think Yak Face goes for like $3,000 or something like that. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, Yak Face is a pretty sought after original run character from like 85. So loose characters from the 85 run, so loose, not even with the card, we're going for like $85 a pop. So you're gonna get the top of the line collectibles, and it's awesome to see some of those things, but it's not like something that I'm gonna be hunting for.
Yeah. Which, like, I was able to get this Qui-Gon for $45, which I thought was fair, because honestly, after I bought him, I looked him up online and it was selling for more than that, where I was just like, okay, I'm happy with this deal. And the guy was really nice and he took care of me. So it's like, you're not wrong about that at all, Brent. You see stuff there where you're just like, holy crap, like someone's going to buy that. But there is some stuff there too for the person like me where I'm just like, how do I justify spending this amount of money on it? Which my wife was there with me last time. I don't think she's not going this year. So, you know, I knew that I was communicating with her like, hey, I think I'm going to buy this today, just so you know. And there were some Lego setups there last year too. So
yeah.
I mean, Lego's my baby, but Black Series is definitely my secondary market to Lego. I mean, I love me a good Black Series figure.
Yeah.
So
I've done pretty well both years. You know, I think I usually try to buy one or two fairly pricey Black Series figures, and then I don't know why all of a sudden the past few years I have a real desire for the Power of the Force line. I know it's not worth anything, and that's not the point of it. It's just I like finding them. I'd like to finish my Dark Empire series of those, and I always like to find. You know, I'm a big $5 guy. You give me a box of $5 figures, I'm going to go through them. I love to bring them home and open them up and play with Azalea with them.
I was going to say, you're not going to
get a nice mix.
Yeah, you're not going to keep those $5 figures on card for very long.
No,
there is no saving things for a rainy day with your family.
Yeah, and I mean,
my stuff has to be put up.
I love it. Yeah, I know I was hunting for him last year too, but on top of the Battle Droid and Jar Jar, which I don't think those will be too pricey. I think the Battle Droid will cost a little more. You know what? Who knows? I don't know what I'm going to be looking at with those. But I want Anakin figure. Like, Anakin is the one guy who's just always been missing from my Black Series And I want either Anakin in Attack of the Clones. I mean, Revenge of the Sith is obviously the Anakin that I want, but I'll take Attack of the Clones Anakin, even if it's one of the ones where it's in the plastic bag and I just put them up on my shelf and I don't even care what condition it's in, to be honest, which there are those vendors there that have those plastic bag loose guys where maybe it might be missing a lightsaber or something, but like, I don't know. I do want to get a little Anakin on the shelf, which my little one has found her way down here. My shelves are in danger. I gotta say that my shelves are in danger, and I knew it was only a matter of time. So,
Especially
I'm
when
glad
she starts climbing.
she was climbing from the second she learned how to crawl. That's this child of mine. Stresses me out. Oh my god. Hey, in other news, with this bracelet here, I went to Eagles training camp today, boys.
Yeah, how did that
Nice.
go?
It
Are
was.
they going to win it all this year, like every other fan of?
I'm going to tell you right now. Seeing Saquon Barkley run full speed in person is terrifying. That man is built like something I've never seen before. It's like it's seriously scary. I don't know how guys are just like, yeah, I'm going to try to tackle him. He is a monster. Like I'm very excited about it. It was pretty surreal. Me and little David just kind of, my sister hooked us up with the tickets, and me and him just kind of sat there and just watched it. We didn't even talk that much through it because you're just sitting there like looking at these dudes. It really is real life gladiator. It really is.
Seeing the offense and defensive lines up close in person really opens your eyes to how big they are.
You're just like, all right, yeah. It's crazy. It really
this is a whole nother level. I went to the Colts a few times and stood around for autographs and stuff, and you see the linemen come up, and I mean they're just so gigantic. Like you said, it's really like they're gladiators.
Yeah, and that's what it's like. People were asking me how it was today, and I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, it almost made me look at like the NFL like differently, just being that close and seeing the size of these dudes and seeing how fast they are, how quick they make decisions. How the speed is crazy. That's why it's just like you're sitting there just like, it's wild.
I remember seeing Reggie Wayne and Marvin Harrison, in person running routes, and it's just amazing how fast they are. And you're seeing these guys trying to make the team, and you think a few steps is not that much, but in person up close, it seems like a mile.
It's crazy. And it happens in the blink of an eye. You just have to sit there and stare at it. It's wild.
And then you look at the distance a yard is, and you're like, it's not that big. It's not that far. And like these guys are beating their heads into each other for 3 feet, which isn't that far.
Nope.
And it's sometimes you don't even get 3 feet.
Yeah. Sometimes you get -3 feet, and you understand why when you see these dudes. It's crazy. It really is. Yeah. And I know Joe's been to some Steelers stuff too, but I mean, having that experience being up close and personal and just seeing it happen it really was wild. It blew my mind. I said to my sister, which luckily my sister works for someone where my sister's been getting to go for the last couple years, and every time she sent pictures, I'm just like, you don't understand how lucky you are to be there. And I mean, she felt bad for my little guy with his broken arm, and she got her company to actually get us some tickets. So it was really awesome today. So that's still on my mind as we're sitting here talking Star Wars.
How's the arm doing?
But you didn't answer my question.
Are they
going to win it all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Saquon Barkley. Even Jalen Hurts. I look at Jalen Hurts on the field, and I'm like, he looks a little bit like short on the shorter end for a quarterback.
Sure.
They were finishing out a drive. They would sprint it out to the end zone, and luckily enough, we were standing in the end zone, and him and Dallas Goedert are running straight at me and David because they decided to race each other afterwards. And Jalen Hurts is like 2 feet away from me, and I'm sitting there just like looking at him like, holy shit, he's a big dude. Like, he's a monster. It's crazy. It really is. And plus, I'm also at that awkward phase where it's like now I'm 33 years old and I'm realizing I'm starting to get like a little bit considerably older than these guys that I almost feel like I look up to as athletes. You know what I mean? That's like that awkward phase where you're just like, I'm like 10 years older than these guys, but they're freaking awesome.
Are you kidding me? Okay, so Friday is the event that I look forward to. So the Olympics is starting.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to watch the Olympics, and then you're going to see a 14-year-old gymnast. Now, Simone Biles is like probably 21 now, but you're going to see like 16 and 20-year-old kids, because to me, that's a kid.
Yes.
Doing crap you can't even imagine doing.
Yeah.
And you're like, they're the age of my child.
Yeah.
I could have birthed you.
And you're also I'm inspired by you.
Right. It makes you feel so, I don't know.
I'm a firm believer in the Olympics that before every event, they should have a few rounds of normal people
doing the same event.
Just so you get a feel of how hard it actually is.
That's funny. I
love it. And we have a comment from Hyperspace here. Just picked up a Black Series Mudhorn Mando at a local swap meet for $10 in box. It's a hell of a deal.
Yeah, that's the one that comes with Grogu and all the accessories. That's a really good figure.
Yeah, and I actually did a Target run today, and my shelves have been totally bare as far as Black Series go. I'm going to try to hold my phone up and see if you can see this, but Marvel Legends had a Red Hulk, and this thing was beefy, and that's $35. And usually our Black Series Deluxe are what they pass off as that $35 figure. But I'm telling you, I picked this thing up off the shelf, and it was heavy. Like, that's a hell of a figure. I'm surprised they're putting that out. You know, I guess maybe they're trying to get ahead of the curve with the new Captain America movie coming up. They put out like a classic Red Hulk. So
he's in the trailer.
Simone Biles is 27 now.
She's old, but I mean, she's still a stud. But yeah, no, I can't wait for the Olympics to. If you want to talk about something that's completely different, I can't wait for the Olympics. I love watching people who are, they come from different backgrounds, they speak different languages, but I can't talk to you, but I can talk to you on the field. Like, I can't physically communicate with you, but we speak the same language of sport, and it's amazing to me. So
yeah, I think the Olympics are going to be awesome this year. I know my wife is fired up for it because she just gets fired up for summer and winter Olympics. She just loves it. So we'll definitely be tuning into a lot of these events, especially swimming. Swimming's a big one.
It was cool to go to the Olympic trials. It was pretty cool.
You went to Olympic trials?
Yeah, so they were in Indianapolis, and my wife was volunteering. So if you watched them, you'll probably, if you watch any of the swimming in Paris, they had like walk out in like all of the sweatpants and jackets and stuff like that, and they put it all into a laundry basket, and then the kids have to take the laundry baskets and they take it behind the scenes. So my wife was the adult that was making sure that the kids were doing the job correctly. So she volunteered like 5 or 6 days out of the 9 days. My daughter went a couple days. I went to like the opening day, saw a couple world records. It's pretty sweet.
Damn, that's awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Well, as we're getting closer to the end here, in the universe of watching shows, I want to ask you guys, are you caught up on House of the Dragon right now?
Yes.
I don't think I watched this most. I got to go watch that one. So you guys can talk about it, but I don't think I've seen the most recent.
I'm only going to say one thing, and it's the most important thing probably about the series. But that knight who knocked on the door at the end is a complete dick.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
Talk to me, but you guys talk about it for about 10 minutes. Do a couple.
You know what I'm
minutes
talking about. It just popped into your head, didn't it?
Yeah, I thought it was going to go.
Interrupted. I'm taking it he interrupted something.
Yes,
I thought it was going to go a little. I thought it was going to go a little further, Alfie. You know,
yeah.
I did think things were going to escalate a little bit.
Anyways,
they escalated pretty well, but kind of would have liked to seen, The
God
scene
damn
play
it,
up
now
a
I gotta
little
go
more.
watch. I got something I gotta watch. All right, I got you. Like, I gotta go watch it. Like, I can't sit here, but keep talking because I want to know what I'm gonna be missing.
It's been cooking, so I won't speak any spoilers, but it's really been it's really been pretty good.
I really didn't think I would like this series as much. I think because I liked Game of Thrones and I liked the characters. This one, it's slowly gotten to where I really, really like these characters a lot. It wasn't as fast as Game of Thrones, where you just instantly fall in love with the Starks.
And that's what I've been telling people who maybe watched like half of the first season of House of the Dragon, because I think they want that instant love for character satisfaction that you got from Game of Thrones, where you knew you loved Jon Snow within like 3 episodes of Game of Thrones. You did.
I liked Ed Stark, but they decided to kill him after the time that I thought I enjoyed him.
It was hard not to like all of the Starks. I thought they were all great characters.
Yeah. So I agree with you, Alfie. It's like a slow burn of getting to learn these characters, and they're pretty complicated too. So, Brent, spoiler alert, Damon is still tripping balls. I'll just tell you that.
Like, that dude is he still in the fever deep in the fever dream?
Yes.
Yeah. This whole fever dream sequence with Harrenhal and the River, it better lead to a great finale.
I think it has to, because I'll tell you what, if there's only one thing I've seen complaint wise about House of the Dragon, is people are complaining that this has been drawn out with Daemon there, but it's been kind of intriguing to me. I mean, I get it. Like, we know that he's either going to get out of it or whatever is going to happen, but stuff is happening with that storyline technically.
Yeah, I think the last few scenes with him and his brother, the king, have really been a lot better than a lot of the other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, like, he was going to get, well, I don't want to spoil too much for Brent, but he kind of tried to wrap. He tried to wrap it up this episode, but the barn owl held them up a little bit and was like, just chill out a little bit for a minute. Just relax. Stuff is under control.
I think he's really learning that he's his own worst enemy.
Yeah, I think that's what I think this is big character development on his end, because Daemon from season 1 was fearless, crazy. I don't care what your opinion is. This is mine. Like, screw yourself, basically, And now it's like he's second guessing decisions that he's made in his life. And he sees Rhaenyra all the time because he doesn't want to. I feel like deep down he doesn't want to be like betraying her or being worthless to her. So it's interesting.
But at the same time, with this character, he's been given the opportunity to, and it's hard for him not to.
Yeah.
And I like that.
No, he's a good character. He's complicated. That's why I like a character where I have no idea what the hell he's going to do.
Why did we have to start talking about this? Because that episode, just one episode, was just a perfect example of everything that another show tried to do over and over again and failed at. And it's just done so well. And yes, it does seem a little drawn out, but it doesn't necessarily have an ending. So it doesn't have to rush to get everywhere. So you understand what characters are going through. Even like, Helena, who's hardly in the show at all, but I mean, she's had some serious character development in just the few little bits of dialogue she has.
You're talking about she's the one that Daemon wanted to marry.
Queen, no, she's Aegon's wife.
Aegon's wife. Yep.
His sister. She's the queen.
Oh, the one that saved the daughter and told him that one's the kid.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, which, like, whenever she pops on, yeah, like you're saying, Alfie, you're kind of like, she's dealing with some shit, and then you're just like, what's going to happen with her next? Because there's something there with her. There is something going on with her, and Is Allison just a shitty mom? Because does she actually care about her kids? Because it's like she's not very nice to them and not very caring to them. And it's
But
like, did you raise them? Like, did you nurture them?
I
Because
again, in getting so much time to show things and let things develop, you can see it from both sides. Because even her brother said, maybe it's not you. Maybe it's just this place. Maybe this isn't a good place to raise kids,
yeah,
especially if you're the royal family.
yep. That's what I was wondering. I'm like, I'm like, is the show signaling that she really like kind of wasn't present for their upbringing or something, or maybe like what you're saying? Maybe it's just the Red Keep and just raising a kid in King's Landing. It's just not good for
Yeah.
them because they have aspirations of what they want to be and everything, and everyone tells them what they ask to be. You don't get a chance to raise your own kid.
The constant scheming, the constant plots, the constant counter scheming. Yeah, when do you have time to be a mother?
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, you could say the same thing about Viserys, the father. Was he a good dad? I don't know. He seems to have been a well-liked king, but that doesn't necessarily make him a good father.
Absolutely. No, you're totally right about that because I feel like he was kind of totally not present for them as well. I feel like it's just kind of like they just had the babysitter the whole time and just were like,
We see you at formal functions.
yeah,
At dinner.
exactly. Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this. I feel bad for Aegon, honestly. I feel bad for him.
That's what makes the show so good is you never, even the villains, you always have kind of a soft spot for them, or you have an understanding of their character.
Yeah,
Like
because
Cersei was probably one of the easiest ones to say she's the villain and we don't like her. But then there's moments, especially if you're a parent, where you're like, I don't like her, but I understand her character.
Mhm.
And if I was in that position, I think I would probably I want to say I wouldn't make the same decisions, but I know I probably would if I was that powerful. It's so easy. One, it's make believe, so you can think whatever you want. It doesn't matter. But two, when you try to, reason with why you like a character or not, you always want to say that you wouldn't do it that way. But you don't have that power that this make believe character has.
Absolutely.
That's what you tend to leave out. Just like Aegon. Yeah, Aegon was a very unlikable character for an extent, but then at the same time, it's like if you were the king and you had a dragon, wouldn't you at some point just be like, "Fuck it, I'm going out there.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't stop me."
Yeah, which Rhaenyra has had the same, desire to do that as well. It's like I got this dragon just chilling right now. Like I could go screw some stuff up right now if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I don't know. It goes back.
Aemon is such a strong character, but at the same time, you can see right through. I mean, the guy playing that part is doing an amazing job because you can literally see right through his facade the whole time. He's not as strong as he appears to be. And again, it's made up characters. It's people acting, but it's amazing how they can make you feel a certain way just through doing that, through dialogue, through pacing.
Yep. And that's why I've always said that I think Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon are the best shows at making dialogue and pacing action sometimes, because you get your action, you sometimes you got to wait a little bit to get it, but you get your action. But it's like every conversation in each episode, you're just like, what the hell is going to happen here right now? What are they going to say right now here? It's like when Allison told Aegon, I just want you to do nothing. That's what I want you to do. I want you to show up every day here and do nothing. It's like,
he gets on
okay,
the dragon and rides to his death.
Yeah, it's like, what's my purpose in life? Essentially, then just sit here and do nothing my entire life. I have no opinion on anything. Like, that's it.
You instantly don't like Laris, and you don't really care for Aegon as characters. But you can't tell me as a viewer in that scene where he was talking to him, on his deathbed, you're just repulsed by the characters themselves. But at the same time, you're like, God, I can't wait to see where this goes.
Exactly.
And that's
or when
great writing.
It is. When Allison, is visiting him, and she walks out of the room, and he lets out he says a mommy to her.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're the kid and you want your mom, which I hear that because my kids it's still mommy and daddy in this house. They're not too old yet to not stop calling us mommy and daddy. You hear that, you're just like,
Right.
You're like, this kid just wants his fucking, or pardon my French, he just wants his mom. Like he doesn't know what the hell is going on. He's trying to put on a tough guy act. He didn't really have a choice in this situation. You kind of set him up for this yourself. I don't know. It's a damn good show. It really is.
And yes, I agree, because like I just said, on one hand, you can't wait for Aemon and Daemon to fight with their dragons. It's coming eventually. Okay. I mean, whether you've read or not, you can see the buildup.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's like, I want to see how this Aegon Laris scheming, using our mind because our bodies are broken, plays out. Because it's going to be just as destructive as a fight with two dragons, in my mind.
And Aemon's a moron for not seeing the value in Laris. I think he's pretty smart battle wise, probably, but he's an idiot for just basically being like, yeah, you're worthless to me.
But I don't think he is a smart battle wise, though. He's just got the biggest fucking dragon that there is, and he thinks that's all that there needs to be. But like they said in, the original Game of Thrones, if you're the Queen of Ashes, what do you rule over?
Exactly. Hey, the Blacks are working on some recruits right now for Rhaenyra. So we're the Greens versus Blacks. It's starting to, some things are starting to happen, I'll say.
That scene with the dragon, in the night, it just makes me so angry. I'm watching this scene, and it looks amazing. The dialogue is amazing. The pacing is amazing. You know what's going to happen, but it keeps teasing you that it's not going to happen. And the build up, it's just like, how can the thing I like just be so bad at everything? I mean, you knew when he walked out there that there's two ways this ends, and more than likely, the way it's going to end. But it was just so well done in that they just kept giving you hope it's not going to happen. Yeah. It's just not.
Yeah, it tricked me a time or two. I was like, it's going. Oh. Yeah. So, Brent, you're going to need to watch that like ASAP because it was a good one.
Yeah, no, I definitely will. I forgot. Like, look, I don't even know what was going on Sunday. So,
usually around 8 o'clock on Sunday, my heart rate starts to rise a little bit.
Yeah, no, I apologize. Like, I don't know what was going on. Flipped my mind. But yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna sit down and watch it. Now I know what I got to do.
It was good.
Yeah,
it sounds like I'll be intrigued for sure.
Yeah, and we didn't give, believe it or not, like just through the way me and Alfie just talked about it, we really didn't give too much away actually either. So it's good. And I just love, and then I'll finish talking about it after this, but I just love Daemon doesn't care about anyone. He's not afraid of anyone. But with Aemon, it's like he's brought up and he gets weird. He gets you can tell he's intimidated by him. That is the rivalry. Eamon and Damon. It's
Yeah,
a weird thing there.
you go back to that great scene in the first season where they were at the dinner and Eamon kept calling the cousins his strong cousins. I think Jason punched him in the face or something.
Yeah.
And then Damon steps in between them and gives them kind of like a, you really want to do this here kind of look. And he backs away. It's just a dynamic that's been built up for so long. It could be like 4 seasons away, and it's going to have a great payoff. And I hope they keep building it up.
Absolutely. Well, guys, hour and a half in here. Wrap things up a little bit. We got our Star Wars talk in tonight. We talked ICCC. We really didn't talk much Star Wars after ICCC because I don't want to talk about what we talked about for the last 8 weeks, which I'm happy to not talk about it. So I feel really happy right now. I'm not negative in any kind of way, all other than the things of what could have been, but whatever. We move on, we fight on. We're still Star Wars fans. It is what it is. What do you guys got for final thoughts tonight? Brent, you give me a final thought for tonight, wrapping up the episode here.
You're
excited for ICCC.
Get your tickets to ICCC. Looks like it's going to be probably a sellout on Saturday, which I wouldn't be surprised if it was. That's about all I got for you. I need to go watch some good stuff that you guys have just been talking about.
You're going to enjoy it. You are going to enjoy it. Alfie, you got any final thoughts for tonight?
Yeah, to cleanse my palate a little bit, I rewatched Revenge of the Sith today. And
your favorite, correct?
It is my favorite. Not the best, but my favorite. And like the younglings in that movie, that movie never gets old.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Okay.
Those poor bastards.
ICCC, yeah, excited. Can't wait to go back.
Master Anakin.
Skywalker.
Well, that's RTG 279. I finally remembered to look up in the corner because I know Joe actually numbers our episodes now and sets me up here where I'm just like, I have no clue what episode it is. It's right in front of my face. So Rule the Galaxy, chapter 279. Guys, episode 300 is not far away, actually.
It's not far away.
Dude, it might line up to where 300's like close to the ICCC, actually.
Good.
Very, very plausible.
I mean, that might actually be a dumb statement. I don't know. I don't know how many weeks away, but that's just like ballpark figure. It's got to be pretty close. 300. I was on the episode 100 celebration. I felt like I didn't even deserve to be there because I was only on a couple episodes before. So that's chapter 279 of Rule of the Galaxy podcast. Love doing this podcast, and we appreciate anyone who listens to it. If you follow us on YouTube, subscribe to us, hit the like button. We really appreciate it. We're trying to build up this YouTube here. If you follow the podcast, obviously, we appreciate you listening on any podcast platform out there. And from me, from Alfie, from Brent, until the next time, may the Force